welcome to the latest edition of the Omni Real Estate Report.
Today we have another edition of the burning question.
That's right, and today's burning question, one we're getting quite a bit in the office these days, is what happens if the appraised value comes in below the contract price?
Oh no, is it a deal killer?
Well, it can be a deal killer, but it doesn't have to be a deal killer.
So the first question is, does a low appraisal mean that I'm paying too much for the house or I'm trying to sell my house for too much?
Well, not necessarily, but how can that be?
Well, one good reason, an appraisal is just one appraiser's opinion of value.
That's right. So if we had 5 appraisers come in and appraise the same property at the same time, we're going to get 5 different numbers. And surprisingly, there can be a large swing between those numbers.
Right. That's because we are in a rapidly appreciating market.
And this makes it very difficult on appraisers because, first of all, an appraisal is a backward-looking document. They are looking at sales that took place anywhere from 1 month to 6 months ago.
Right, and in this market where we had a 6% increase in single home values from February and March, that's a huge amount of value to try to adjust for in an appraisal. And honestly, these people have been burned before. They're not very likely to go there.
That's right. So the first thing you need to do is take proactive steps to prevent this from even happening.
Right, and the first one is to provide comps to the appraisal to show them the comps that you've based your sales price on.
That's right. Secondly, we always make a point, if it's our listing, to meet the appraiser at the property, make sure that we go over those comps with them, and also make sure they understand the key features and benefits of that particular property.
And then finally, if you're our seller, we try to help you find a buyer who has a little extra cash in their pockets.
That's right, which can come in handy as you try to resolve the situation if it occurs. And there's 4 basic ways that this can happen. The first is the buyer does have the right to cancel the contract.
Right. Not always a good idea because it's tough to get under contract in the first place.
That's right. Secondly, the seller could agree to sell the property for the new appraised price.
Right. And sellers aren't so willing to do that because they know that if they've got a good property, they've probably got multiple buyers and some who would be willing to pay the higher price.
That's right. They're probably not going to do that. The third is that the buyer can agree to come to the table with some extra cash.
Can be a good idea because prices do not appear to be going down anytime soon. We don't have any indicators that say we're in a bubble.
None whatsoever. Fourthly, and the approach we generally like to adopt, is that the buyer and seller can agree upon an equitable compromise.
Right, so the seller might be willing to lower their price a little bit if the buyer is willing to bring in some extra cash to the table, and then everybody's happy.
Well, at least as happy as they can be. But the important thing is the deal closes, the sellers sell the house when they thought they were going to, the buyers are moving into the new house, and everyone, again, is as happy as they can be.
Right.
That's the latest edition of the Omni Real Estate Report.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.